The Office of Competition and Consumer Protection began taking an interest in Vivus as early as 2016, when it began offering loans through so-called cash ATMs. In addition, in order to receive an information form about the rules of the loan, you had to provide not only your data, but also a photo of your face. In September 2021, Tomasz Chrustny, president of the OCCP, ruled that Vivus violated the collective interests of consumers by serving customers through cash machines, requiring the provision of inadequate and redundant information. However, he did not impose a penalty on the company, as it managed to withdraw from providing loans for the machine in 2017. On Monday, the decision of the president of the UOKK was upheld by the Court of Competition and Consumer Protection. Vivus also required inadequate and redundant information from the consumer to be made available on the so-called cash machine: phone number, address, scan of identity card, and a photo of one's face. Vivus Finance posted a profit of 23 million zloty at the end of 2020, while the entire lending industry recorded substantial losses. Despite good financial results, its main shareholder, Oleg Boyko, signed a sale agreement in Riga on April 14, 2022, fearing European sanctions. Investigative journalist Piotr Nisztor points out that the Oligarch is directly linked to the Kremlin's power structures. Oleg Boyko is a man who is associated with the Kremlin, with Vladimir Putin, a man who made a fortune in Russian banking then, when Boris Yeltsin was still president. This is a person who was put on the Australian sanctions list in connection with the Russian attack on Ukraine. While the company was owned by Oleg Boyko, its communications director was Marek Bossak, privately the brother of Krzysztof Bossak, one of the leaders of the Confederation. We're still getting into those connections that may be very significant, and it is now the role of the Internal Security Agency to verify whether those connections have any significance. According to politicians and publicists, it is disturbing that Marek Bossak has such close ties with a Russian oligarch. Putin, preparing for the invasion of Ukraine, undoubtedly strengthened his agency in various areas, and today we cannot exclude anything, including the activities of the company Vivus, may have such signs. This case shows as clearly as possible that some of the Confederation's politicians are linked to the Kremlin, not only in the programmatic sphere, anti-EU and anti-Ukraine rhetoric, but also in the context of a network of economic ties, and Mr. Bossak probably fits into this network of ties. The Vivus company still operates in the Polish market under the name Sunli. We remember how before the elections, probably to parliament, he backed off, saying he had nothing to do with it anymore, and all indications are that he was hidden away. Of course, one is not responsible for one's brother, but someone tried to mislead the public that he was not there, and he was back there. Between 2012 and 2020, Krzysztof Bossak had no official source of income. According to his own statement, his income at the time was to be derived from his work on the staff of the Confederation and from his work for the MP's office, Robert Winnicki. I think that the presence of Krzysztof Bossak's brother there, and he has been there for many, many years, because I will remind you, almost since 2012, this can cause concern and should cause interest in the secret services of Poland, because it is no coincidence that it is often not an active politician who is rewarded, but someone from his family. According to the National Court Register, there are nearly 8,000 companies in Poland in which at least one of the shareholders is a Russian company or an individual who is a Russian citizen. The Law and Justice government is calling for the possibility of confiscating the assets of individuals who support Russia's activities and taxing companies that have not withdrawn from the market there. But this requires a constitutional amendment.